Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to really unpack the insights of Mencius, the famous follower of Confucius.
That's right, a huge figure in that tradition.
We're drawing from a YouTube video, 100 Trailiso K Kumpuntu from Oixia Audio, which collects his key sayings, but also commentary and stories.
Yeah, it's a rich source. And it's not just about, like, dusty old philosophy. These ideas are surprisingly relevant.
Absolutely. So for you, the learner, the goal here is quick, deep knowledge, those aha moments, without getting bogged down, clear, engaging. That's what we're aiming for.
And it's fascinating to see how Mencius took Confucian thought and really ran with it, especially his core ideas about human nature.
Okay, let's start right there. That foundational idea. Mencius believed people are inherently good. Right?
Exactly. That's probably his most famous contribution. The idea that deep down, our fundamental nature leans towards goodness.
But it's not like we're born perfect saints, is it?
No, not at all. That's the nuance. He saw it more as an innate potential or capacity for goodness, like a seed, you could say.
A seed. Okay, so it needs the right conditions to grow.
Precisely. The commentary and the source really emphasizes this. Your environment, your upbringing, education, all these things influence whether that seed flourishes or gets stunted.
So the lesson is, we've all got this potential, but nurturing it is key. Through learning, through creating good environments.
That's the takeaway. It puts a lot of emphasis on ethics, education, and, well, societal responsibility to help people become their best selves.
Which, thinking about it, has big implications for how you'd govern, right? If people are basically good.
Exactly. It shifts the focus. Maybe leadership is less about controlling bad impulses and more about fostering that inherent goodness. It's quite different from some other thinkers at the time who had a dimmer view of human nature.
That makes sense. Less about rules, more about conditions for growth. Okay, let's look at another one. Hey cat now ko chi lam ngui I say jek sejupta koche. Those with noble goals for the common good get universal support.
Yeah, something like that. The key bits there are noble aspirations and common good. It's not just any ambition.
So it has to be about more than just yourself.
Right. It's about having a purpose that benefits everyone. The lesson seems to be that if you're genuinely striving for something worthwhile, something bigger than yourself, forces tend to align. You find perseverance, maybe even some luck.
Like when you're really passionate about a project and things just click. Okay, then there's this one. We can change ourselves, but not the world directly. That feels important.
It really is. It's about focusing your energy where it has the most impact. Mencius isn't saying don't try to make the world better.
But start with yourself.
Exactly. Self-improvement is the starting point. It's the one thing you truly have control over. Changing yourself is the first step to, well, influencing anything larger.
So don't get overwhelmed trying to fix everything. The lesson is work on yourself. And that creates ripples. Like that Gandhi quote, be the change.
That's a perfect way to put it. Okay, shifting focus outward again. Bon thin harai subutkwai sinan. The most important thing is the people's well-being.
That feels like a direct message to rulers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A cornerstone for ethical leadership. The lesson is crystal clear. A nation, a society, it only thrives if its people are cared for. Protect them, nurture them. That's where strength lies.
And if you connect that back to the innate goodness idea.
You get this virtuous cycle, right? Leaders care for inherently good people. Those people flourish and contribute positively. It makes you wonder how well our modern systems really prioritize everyone's well-being.
Definitely food for thought. Okay, next. Nam kaitin kosnela tin yin kong konzebao. Goodness is natural, doesn't need teaching, but needs nurturing. We touched on this.
Right, it circles back. The instinct is there, Mencius says, but it needs education to shape it into, like, concrete, virtuous action.
So the potential is raw material, education refines it.
Think of it like musical talent. You might be born with a good ear, but you need lessons and practice to play an instrument well. Education helps translate that innate goodness into actual ethical behavior.
That makes sense. It needs direction. And how do we direct it? Self-adjustment leads to virtue or perfection.
Yeah, adjustment is the key word.
Yeah.
It implies it's ongoing, not a destination, but a process.
Like constantly fine-tuning.
Exactly. Becoming that ideal Jinzi, the gentleman or noble person, isn't about being flawless. It's about recognizing your flaws and actively working on them, always striving for, righteousness, wisdom, trustworthiness.
So it's the commitment to the journey that matters. Okay, this next one seems a bit counterintuitive. Vandenhong Legadan Daicherang Kadak. Saints don't use stillness to govern movement.
Huh. Yeah, it makes you pause. It's a warning against being too passive or theoretical, especially in leadership.
So you can't just rely on abstract principles when things are happening.
Pretty much. The lesson is about flexibility, skillful action, adaptability. You need to engage with the dynamics of a situation, not just sit back with a good theory or rely on static power. Practical wisdom in action.
Right, you need to actively apply the wisdom. Okay, a classic. "Tambitmin ditngui tram tran tran dang." Know yourself, know others, win every battle.
Timeless advice. It's about the power of understanding your own strengths, your weaknesses, and also understanding what motivates others, what they're capable of.
Like strategic intelligence for life.
You could say that. It helps you navigate challenges, make better decisions. It's your best weapon, really.
Then, very encouragingly, "Chin but go aikeng ko te chua tan wei kwen tu." Anyone can become a gentleman.
Yes. This is so important. It's not about birthright or status. The Junzi is made, not born,
Through effort.
through conscious effort. Cultivation, learning, self-improvement. It democratizes virtue, essentially. It's available to everyone willing to put in the work.
I like that. It's aspirational but achievable. Okay, what about happiness? Wealth is only part of happiness.
A crucial reminder, isn't it? Especially today. Mencius isn't denying that material comfort helps, but he's saying true, deep happiness comes from more.
From inner stuff, relationship.
Exactly. Intangibles. Friendship, love, kindness, contributing to something. We all know wealthy people who aren't happy, right? This points to why.
Yeah, it highlights those non-material values. Then a really compassionate one. 11 Hong Kong Mui Sochu Kongi Hong Yu Dao Li. No bad people, just people who don't understand morality.
This one encourages empathy, doesn't it? It pushes back against quick judgment.
So wrongdoing comes from ignorance, not malice.
Often, yes, or from circumstances that obscure moral understanding. Mencius believed education and guidance could make a huge difference. It sees potential for change, rather than just condemning.
That's a hopeful perspective. Following that, 12 Churi Kongbao Jo Ba Jing Yui Kote. Heaven doesn't abandon those with purpose.
It echoes that earlier point about noble aspirations, right? It reinforces the idea that genuine purpose, determination, it attracts support somehow.
Yeah.
Whether you call it heaven or just, the way things work out, persistence pays off.
It's about that alignment between inner drive and maybe external forces. Now, interconnectedness. Termlo chungwe kabla chamlo chamin. Caring for others is caring for yourself.
Yes, the reciprocity of well-being.
Yeah.
When you act with compassion, when you help others, you yourself gain inner peace, fulfillment.
So altruism benefits the giver, too.
Absolutely. Our own well-being isn't separate from the community's. It's deeply linked.
That makes sense. Okay, some practical advice. Focus on the present, not the past.
A call for mindfulness, really. Letting go of past regrets or glories lets you engage fully with now. That's where you have influence, where you shape the future.
Live in the moment. Good advice. And then, 15 Chen da nut dung la Chen li nya. The simplest truths are often the greatest.
Yes. It's easy to get caught up in complexity, isn't it? Mencius reminds us that profound wisdom is often right there in simple, everyday principles we might overlook.
Like be kind or be honest. Yeah, don't overthink it. Then, setting priorities. 66 konkoji kuija hunji tuket vatuket. Nothing more precious than wisdom and virtue.
For Mencius, these are the ultimate goals. Wisdom helps you see clearly, virtue guides your actions, more valuable than any amount of wealth or fame.
Because they shape who you are and your impact. Makes sense. And how to gain wisdom. 17 taksachla kakmamang tritak. Reading opens up knowledge.
A timeless point. He saw books as vital. Learning from others' experiences, expanding your understanding, sharpening your mind.
Can't argue with that one. The value of lifelong learning. Then, on motivation, 18 Kanmui's Sungfei Koli Tung. People need ideals to live.
Ideals give you purpose, right? A direction, something to strive for beyond just the day-to-day. They lift you up.
They're like your North Star. And related. Then you tung la tu hin kon yu sum koinga. Love makes life meaningful.
He really understood the core of human experience. Connection, compassion, love. That's what gives life depth and beauty, isn't it?
It truly is. Okay, back to the bigger picture. 21 chi fachin kimait nguisung trom harbin va kongbang, a nation develops with peace and fairness for all.
Again, linking national success to the treatment of its people. Justice, equity, security, that's the foundation for real progress. Everyone needs a fair chance.
Creates stability and lets people contribute. And underpinning all this, 21 Sir One Duck, Lenendung Ko Moi Haindung. Morality is the foundation of action.
Your ethical compass. It should guide everything, according to Mencius, making decisions based on what's right, what serves the common good.
Okay, now an interesting twist. 22 Konglem Dio Sunyung Kong Konglem Duo Kwamik. Do no evil, but also don't do too much good.
Huh. Yeah, it sounds odd at first, but it's about balance, moderation.
The middle way.
Exactly. Even good intentions taken to an extreme can backfire or cause imbalance. It's about harmony, finding that sweet spot, acting wisely, not just zealously.
Okay, that clarifies it. Then on wealth again. Hi, Bhakti, contentment is enough.
This is about appreciating what you have. True wealth isn't endless accumulation, it's gratitude, satisfaction with what meets your needs, finding peace in sufficiency.
A very different definition of rich. And linked to growth. 24 Hophan La Kondag Dun Sohan Pete Sextancy. Learning is the path to perfection.
Again, emphasizing that continuous journey. Learning isn't just for school, it's lifelong self-improvement, intellectually and morally. Always growing.
Never stop learning. Got it. And where should we direct our hopes? 25 Gungwen Chodiozi Kotate Duk Mahai Koinazote Doi Trongbanten. Don't pray for external changes, pray for inner change.
Powerful, right? Focus on what you can change yourself. Personal transformation is the real engine for changing your experience of the world.
Taking responsibility for your own growth, yeah. And finally, for this set, 26 Chungta La Sanfam Goethe Jan Ying Ching Ching Kanta Kamnantate De Tojan. We're products of our time, but we can also change time.
It captures that dynamic interplay. We're shaped by history, by our context, sure. But our choices, our actions, they shape the future. They leave a mark.
We have agency, even within constraints. Okay, so the video doesn't just list these, right? It uses anecdotes too, like the farmer.
Yeah, the farmer patiently tending his crops. It's a great illustration of perseverance, isn't it? Growth takes time, consistent effort. You can't rush it. Same with our goals.
That makes the principle really concrete. And there was one about a boastful official.
Oh, right, where Mencius tells the story of a humble king to teach the official about humility. It shows true influence comes from respect and listening, not arrogance. It links back to knowing yourself and others.
And the carpenter story, too. Learning about limitations.
Yes, the overconfident carpenter, learning from the experienced one. That really nails the importance of self-awareness, knowing what you don't know and being open to learning. It echoes that self-adjustment idea perfectly.
These stories definitely add another layer. And beyond these specific sayings, the source highlights recurring themes, doesn't it? Like trust.
Absolutely. Trust as a foundation. Clear goals for direction. The power of belief how our mindset shapes our reality.
And little things mattering. Small acts of kindness.
Huge emphasis on that. Also, unity, cooperation, controlling your reactions, resilience. The idea that helping others is maybe the highest calling.
Love as a force. The right path being tough, but worth it.
A positive attitude, not getting distracted by fame, how small actions lead to big changes.
Yeah.
It's all woven together.
Patience, integrity, perseverance through tough times.
It really paints a picture of continuous self-cultivation, doesn't it? Living with purpose, contributing to the community.
It's quite holistic, and we've only really scratched the surface of the 100 sayings mentioned in the source video. There's so much depth there.
There really is, but the core threads are clear. The belief in innate goodness, the absolute necessity of self-cultivation, ethical leadership focused on people, and the value of inner peace and good relationships.
So for you listening, maybe take a moment. Which of these ideas really hit home for you? Is there one saying or lesson that you feel you could apply, maybe even today?
And maybe a final thought to chew on. In our world today, which often feels, very individualistic, maybe quite cynical sometimes, how does Mencius's focus on inherent goodness, on ethics, on community well-being, how does that land? Does it offer a useful counter-narrative?
Yeah, what's one small step inspired by this ancient wisdom that you could take to cultivate one of these virtues, maybe kindness or patience or self-awareness in your own life, or even in your community?